Hello everyone, my name is Madhura Koparkar. I am a psychologist and a psychotherapist practicing at Manobal Neuropsychiatric Clinic located in Dombivli East.
So 10th of September is considered as World Suicide Prevention Day, and I'm going to talk about what makes one think to attempt or commit a suicide. What are the signs and symptoms of a person who may have suicidal ideations or suicidal tendencies, and how can we prevent a suicide? So let us try and understand first what makes one to attempt a suicide. Well, as you can see, the word suicide, where S stands for self-devaluation, U stands for underestimating, I stands for irrational thinking, C stands for criticism, I stands for inferior feelings, D stands for demotivation, and E stands for expectations. So when a person tries to demean or underestimates his or her own self, in short, for example, when a person feels worthless, hopeless, or helpless, like he may say a few statements such as, I am not worth living on this earth, or I am not a good human being, I don't deserve happiness, etc., etc., where he goes into a tendency to think irrationally, or a person who is unable to handle criticism. He may feel inferior about himself or herself and hence may feel demotivated. Also, a person may feel suicidal when he or she places rigid demands or rigid expectations on his or her own self or others or the environment. So the reasons can be multiple, and even the smallest reason can trigger which you might not even have thought of or expected of. So how to identify whether a person is having any suicidal tendencies or not? So here are some signs of suicidal ideations. For example, threats of self-harm or injury, repeated thoughts of death, or repeated conversation about dying, social withdrawal or isolation, extreme mood swings, lack of interest in pleasurable activities, lack of motivation, irritability, anger outbursts, panic attacks, lack of self care and hygiene, lack of sleep and appetite, inability to concentrate, depressive features such as hopelessness, helplessness, and worthlessness, or even crying spells. So, what can you do when you see such signs and symptoms in a person? First, go and try to understand the person. Try to initiate a conversation. Let the person know that you are there to listen attentively and that he or she is not alone. Do not ignore the signs. Try to empathize and not sympathize. Refrain from giving any advices. And lastly, but most importantly, seek help from a mental health professional. How can you maintain your emotional well being so that the suicidal rates are reduced and your mental health remains balanced? So, have a routine in your life. Include some physical exercises, practice meditation or mindfulness, develop a hobby, spend time with your loved ones, practice gratitude and forgiveness, have a thought diary, acknowledge your past achievements, and lastly, love yourself. Thank you so much.